Admiral is saying nobody can probe him. Look, I respect military officers because they are usually well trained, like Catholic priests. They send them to school. They train them. They give them exposure. An ordinary military officer of Nigeria is a well-educated man at the officer level. So what is Ibas saying? He's saying he's accountable only to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's a very ignorant, unintelligent, uneducated thing to say. I believe he must be intelligent enough to know that when you manage a process in Nigeria, you can be called upon to account. So his argument that the House of Assembly of Rivers State cannot question him is illiterate, and he must be so informed in case he doesn't watch television. What the House of Assembly of Rivers State has said is that, look, yes, within the purview of the Constitution, the National Assembly can make laws, but they don't have evidence that the over 400 billion that was spent within 6 months, that the National Assembly had oversight. That money belongs to the people of Rivers State. Ibas must give account. He cannot say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave him mandate. He cannot give him mandate to spend money anyhow. Even President Tinubu does not have that right under the Nigerian Constitution. Section 305, the way President Tinubu went about it, having been declared illegal, unconstitutional, and unjustified. So who is Ibas to come and say nobody can ask him questions? The people of Rivers State, they have the right to ask questions about how their money was spent. And he must be prepared to give proper account. So, Martina Amewule, and his colleagues in the House of Assembly, they are representatives of the people of Rivers. And the people of Rivers State cannot have an illegal situation in which somebody came around, spent 6 months, and he will come around and say, I don't need to give account to you. I have fulfilled the mandate that President Tinubu gave me. No, President Tinubu does not determine the nature of Nigerian democracy. That's why it's called the government of the people, and the representatives of the people should stand up and ask questions. If they fail at the level of the National Assembly, we should encourage the people in Rivers State to ask questions.
The State Assembly is saying that
yes,
Ibas' 6 months, the spending
yes,
in those 6 months of the state of emergency should be proved.
Yes. Yes. Now, strictly speaking, let me say this to Rivers people and every other state in Nigeria. They should learn from this. When you are disunited in your state, strangers will be brought in to siphon your resources. This unity in Rivers State, this state of emergency was uncalled for. All of them, we are from the same family, political family, whether Wike or Fubara. It was unnecessary. So they should learn, and every other state should learn. They bring in. Have you noticed that all the people that decided the destiny of Rivers State in this state of emergency were all strangers? Whether you call them President Tinubu from Lagos or Oshu, as the case may be, or the Senate President Akpabio from Akwa Ibom, or the House of Representatives Speaker Tajuddin Abbas from Kaduna State, or the Chief Justice of the Federation from Lagos State, or Ibonga Ikete Akas, or what? From
Ibas.
Thank you very much. Now, these people are all alien to Rivers State, and they have come in to siphon the money of Rivers State.
Well, that's yet to be proven.
Wait, 22 billion naira was budgeted to put CCTV in Rivers State House, in the Rivers State State House. Are you trying to see the private part of an ant? What's the meaning of that CCTV? What is it? What do you call it? That's siphoning the money of Rivers State. He should be probed. Accountability, transparency, inclusiveness, and innovation. These are the whole.
You have heard what Ibas, Ibas said. It is only in Nigeria that you will have a sole administrator not wanting to respond to an invitation that is sent to him by a state house of assembly as to come and explain how he spent the money that was allocated to the state all throughout a 6 month period. One begins to imagine what kind of a country Nigeria is, where accountability is taken for granted. You can imagine, just come over and explain explain your expenditure to these guys who are elected State House of Assembly members who are authorized by the law to do this job. But Ibas have openly rejected that invitation, claiming that it is only the president or the National Assembly that has that kind of jurisdiction to question him as regards his expenditure in the states during his 6 month tenure. So now, what does that say about Rivers State entirely? Because the members of the State House of Assemblies are elected people, and they have every right to probe the spendings that happens within the government in that state. That is why they are there. So if you've been there, if you've been a administrator for 6 months, they have every right to ask you to come. Well, he has said the president is the only one that can probe him. Well, let's observe and see how all these events unfold. Meanwhile, if you observe closely, let's take a look at how much was given to him. During that time, he was the administrator from the month of March to August 2025. Ibas received the sum of 254.37 billion from Federal Account Allocation Committee, that's FAC. In the month of March, he received the sum of 44.6 billion. In April, he received 44.42 billion naira. Then in May, he received the sum of 42.8 billion naira. Then in June, 42.3 billion naira. Then in July, 42 billion naira, making the sum of 254.37 billion. That's a lot of money. In addition to that, there was 36.6 billion released for local government allocation for January and February 2021. This had been withheld earlier from Governor Fubara. Well, these are the amount of money that have been received. That's a lot of money. So in 6 months, if the state wants to know how you spent over 250 something billion naira within 6 months, apart from the 36 billion that was given to you to conduct local government election, then it's fair. It's fair for them. They have every right to ask how the resources of the state are spent. Well, there's nothing else we can say about this, because obviously what I'm saying is it's just pure politics. For Bola Ahmed Tinubu to bring someone in and impose him on Rivers people, I believe that there is a bit of politics there against 2027. It's possible that he's trying to empower the APC. From the look of everything, Ibas might be coming out for governorship election in 2027. I want to believe that, because in one way or the other, he has empowered him to do that. For him to go scot-free without any form of accountability or explanation as to how he spent the money of Rivers State in that 6 months, then I think it's quite questionable. And I think the president too is answerable to certain things in Rivers politics. Well, I'll leave all this to Rivers people to make out what they want to do with this situation. But for now, our fingers are crossed. We are observing everything that is going on in Rivers State. Guys, what do you think about all these events? Please comment, like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you.